He was a number 1 overall pick in 2018, and he is playing like a number 1 overall pick. Hey, right now, 20 points, 13 rebounds. That double-double is always there. That field goal percentage is nice as well. Now check this. Phoenix franchised all-time 6-2 and leading a playoff series 3-1. However, the Ballers in the Valley of the Sun, they know it won't be easy to get that 4th win. Chris Haynes, take it away.
It was the hardest win. What is the message? What is being preached amongst the team right now?
The main message is the job is not done. We have a huge step that we need to take tomorrow in order to finish it. And if we come out and execute the way we're supposed to, we'll give ourselves our best chance at that. We won a gritty one last night, an ugly one. And sometimes you got to win those. And so it's just taking what we learned from that and maybe what we did well and applying it to the next game is to bring it all together.
It's the playoffs. You know, it's us going against one of the more veteran defensive teams in the league and knowing that we can go on the road and win in an environment like that makes you mentally strong. I think our guys are doing enough to get wins. I'm hopeful that we see an offensive explosion here soon, along with the defensive intensity we had last night.
Before the postseason started, Chris Paul invited teammates to his house to watch. I believe it was Golden State and the Lakers. Peel back the curtain. Can you take me behind the scene of what's that's like?
Everybody says it's different. It's different. The postseason's different. And when somebody actually tells you, well, this is what you're going to have to expect, and this is how hard it's really going to be, then you feel like you kind of got over that, and you know what you're dealing with going in. And obviously, Chris and Jay are doing a lot of talking. Them having been there in that situation, each one, that really just reinforced the confidence we have in ourselves and our ability to have each other's backs.
Phoenix Suns, so far they are in pole position to get one more win and make the trip to the NBA Finals. That game was interesting late last night. Offense came at a premium, I should say. But just looking at this Suns team, the way they're constructed right now, Smitty, number one, I want to say you like their chances to go to the finals, but do you feel like they should be the favorite? Vegas says that the Bucks are the favorite, but do you feel like this Suns team should be favorited?
No, I don't think so. I think the Milwaukee Bucks still should be the favorite. But, hey, the Hawks are saying, wait a minute now, y'all can't just have Milwaukee going to the finals yet.
Yeah.
But I would say if it happens to be Milwaukee, Phoenix, I think the Milwaukee Bucks, in my opinion, should still be the favorite. But you can't take nothing away from a team that loves each other, plays with chemistry, plays their role, and they know where their bread is buttered. We're going through Chris Paul. They have a coach on the floor. They playing their role. They're playing confidence to me, GA, and also Ro. I have never seen so many young guys that's playing in the rotation that don't look like young guys. Cameron Johnson doesn't look like a young guy to me. Mikal Bridges and DeAndre Ayton, these are young guys, never been in the playoffs, and out there playing a huge role and playing their roles and not complaining, and they don't look like deer in the headlights to me. That's the one thing. Mikal Bridges have struggled, but his defense doesn't struggle. Cameron Johnson might not make shots, but his effort doesn't struggle. So I love everything Monty Williams, Willie Green, what they're doing, that coaching staff, along with Chris Paul, because he's a part of that coaching staff as well, GA. Yeah. When he had FaceTime and he's talking to everybody, he's part of that coaching staff.
He's running them Zoom meetings. There's no doubt about that. And you know, to Smitty's point, like, they're young players. They stay in their lane. Like, they don't what I look at with young players, especially at this point, they don't make negative plays. Right? Like, they may not shoot well, but they shoot the shots they're supposed to. They don't try to do too much. They understand their rotations. They understand their responsibilities defensively and offensively. And they also recognize, look, we're playing with two future Hall of Famers, arguably the best backcourt in the NBA. And those guys are also creators for their teammates. And so everybody's bought in. And then Ayton now just gives them great balance with his ability to get to the rim, attack that offensive glass. This is a special group, and they're going to have a legit chance. Listen, Game 5 is going to be tough because I guarantee you the Clippers are going to play well. I was there when Utah had a chance in Game 5 to take control of that series, and the Clippers came in there and just gave it to them. And I think you're going to see a similar dynamic in terms of their approach. Their belief is not going to be in doubt. They're going to come out and play well. So it's going to be imperative that those young guys continue to play the way they have. And then Chris and Devin are going to have to be better as well. It's going to be important.
I like how you said everybody's bought in, because I often hear about role definition. And when you look at everybody on that team, not only do they know the role, but they've accepted it, and they're doing it to a T. And like you said, not making many mistakes at all, and they're in prime position right now. And of course, the team that they're playing, the Clippers, Hey, we don't know what's going on with Kawhi's knee. They've been very quiet. However, we know that
Kawhi is not playing.
Well, we know that.
That's not.
We know that he's not going to play.
Kawhi is in a suite.
Yeah. That's.
And so we'll just focus for a minute as we take a look at our fancy graphics. Game 4 is in the first and second round. You can see the numbers that Paul George, Reggie Jackson will put up. But if you go to the far right of your screen, Kawhi Leonard, 30 points per game, that field goal percentage, and he's not a big. He's a wing, and he's shooting 58%. You're not going to have that Sunday, GA.
No, it's never good when you got an acronym under your best player. When you get in the DNPs and the things like that, the DNP CD or injury, all that stuff.
Not good.
Listen, he's their best player. And so to remove him from that lineup, they've shown they're still a really good team, but there's a difference between it being a really good team and a team that can win it all. And not having him, and the last game's a perfect example. They win that game if he plays. I don't care if it is 84-80. They win that game if he plays because he changes everything on the floor. He changes your approach defensively and how you guard them. You know he's a big shot maker. He changes what they do offensively because he's out there now down the stretch guarding Booker or guarding Chris Paul. Not having him makes it a lot more difficult. Doesn't mean it's impossible. And you heard, listen, if anybody knows how to come back from 3-1, it's Ty Lue. You know, he's done it when all things were against him. They've already come back from 2-0. And what Phoenix has got to guard against is not assuming this thing is over because it can snowball. And I remember years back, Smitty, we were down 3-0 to Dallas, and we come back and we force a 7th game. You don't want that kind of pressure. And so if you're Phoenix, you want to approach this next game like Game 7. You want to give it your best. And I think they're going to shorten their rotation. I think Monty's going to play that like a 7th game because you do not want to give this team that is an underdog any kind of life. And so I think you're going to see a great effort. I'm looking forward to it. I loved last night's game. It did bring back some memories of how the game used to be played.
Yes.
Teams come down, you can come down, miss it 8 straight times, and still only be down 1. That was crazy.
The lowest scoring game.
To add to that is, I think T. Lue, we got to give him even a lot more credit. Reason why he hasn't had Serge Ibaka the entire postseason, and people saying Serge. Defensively, Serge is fantastic on pick and roll. Serge is great at the rim for them. Then also have a guy that can knock down a little elbow jump shot. Then the experience won a championship. Not to have Serge, not to have Kawhi, and I'm still not counting them out. Just like GA, they will come out. T. Lue has made more adjustments than any coach in this postseason, and he's not afraid to try. And they have responded, and that's the one thing I love about them. They look totally different than they looked last year in the playoffs. They might lose games, but they're all on one page. They didn't shoot well in that fourth quarter, we know. But they still only lost by 4 points, and it was a one-possession game going down the stretch. That's huge what T. Lue is doing with the Clippers organization.